Welcome to Danny Houlihan's Irish Experience podcast. Join Danny on a journey through the historical island of Ireland, its people and the wild Atlantic Way, which is Ireland's last frontier. Experience the music and the culture that makes up the longest coastal driving route in the world. Now, please welcome your host, Danny Houlihan.
Couldn't fall to good Lia Atlantic Ian. Welcome to the Wild Atlantic Way and Danny Houlihan's Irish Experience Show. Welcome to you all from the banks of the Shannon River here in North Kerry, Ireland. Our studio Bolov Winnown the Shunana Kunde Kiri. Christmas has once again arrived at our homes, around the world, and to all of us here in Ireland. It's a time for family and friends to meet up and get together, laughters and indeed a few tears. And for those who have departed our lives during the year, it's a time for meditation and indeed thanks and commemorate them. I have delayed this Christmas podcast as a mark of respect to my late uncle Gerard Houlihan of the Glen Ballybunion, who passed away sadly during the year. This episode is dedicated to his memory. In my part of North Kerry, Christmas time was always a happy period, with old friends calling to the house here in Church Road, Ballybunion, and the sounds of happy people in the throes of great discussions, music, and a few songs were sung, all added to the festive season. One of my memories was with my late father, Sean Houlihan, as we drove home from a job on our famous yellow JCB from the Ballydunhu direction around 1976. I can remember that there was bad weather with lightning, and there was snow on the Listowel to Ballybunion Road. My dad felt it was too dangerous with the lightning to go any further, so the JCB stopped like a well-trained horse, as it happened, outside a pub just outside Lizelton called the Thatch Bar. Now from the front of the bar looked very empty. However, around the back, through the old door we went into another scene, another world, packed with people, one could say a confession, on the approach to Christmas. The Guinness was flowing, and Mrs. O'Sullivan and the family were busy filling tea boxes of food for the men to be returned to the housewives of the area in preparation for Christmas. As we entered, a few shouts were issued in my dad's direction. 2 pints of Guinness were placed in front of my late father, which was greeted like a man in a desert for a month. The old bar door opened, and there appeared in front of me a tall man who took off his coat and let fire with a barrage of Irish dancing steps, and he is still known in the Lizelton Ballydunhu area, the famous Blackbird Welsh. I, as a small boy, was stunned at this master in full flight, and followed his graceful steps across the flagged floor near the old open fireplace, which was ablaze with turf and a lump of bogdeal. The musicians were at full flight, box players, and even one of my old relations on the old bodhrán was there, keeping tempo, and it was flowing. Oh, the atmosphere that Christmas afternoon in that bar was magic. Conversations filled the old North Kerry bar, and business that was transacted was much welcomed at the bar at that time. Like many others in North Kerry, sadly gone now, is part of life. The thunder rumbled over our heads, and the hailstones hit the small windows of the thatched bar, as my father was asked to sing one of his favourite old songs about the cash and drainage, the big machine at Ballyo'Neill. That's what it was called, with great applause. I should add, at this stage, it was getting dusk, and the poor old JCB excavator was left tied up like a donkey outside. Near 20 donkeys and carts, and 2 Massey Ferguson's 135, forlorn and rejected. Another wave of freshly pulled Guinness was brought forth to the counter by Mrs. O'Sullivan, and if my memory serves me right, food was circulated to all within the bar. So a happy North Kerry community was alive and well, a part of our history, a part of our community. We were indeed treated like high kings. While all the hard work of shopping was done by the men, who were missing and at large, the women of the house were busy preparing the house for Christmas, and the impending food, which was like their husbands, were at large in North Kerry that afternoon. These ladies were getting the house ready for Christmas dinner, and the best of dinner plates, cups and cutlery was produced from the old white dresser and the old white tablecloth. An invitation to a lone neighbour was always extended at that time, And even to this day, this lovely custom has not died out in Ireland, and thankfully it will not. Someone shouted in the direction of the crowd, "There's a Garda car near the cross." Like a clap of thunder inside, those with mechanically propelled vehicles made a dash outside. That included myself and my father, to witness the road covered with snow. The view of Connaughtanore, that was once green, was now white covered, in the fading North Kerry evening skyline. "Quick," said my father, "Sean. Jump into the digger." Oh, it was cold at that stage. After all, it was turned off for 6 hours. Our short stay of a half an hour was most of a day. Along with others in our company, we were now missing and at large in North Kerry. Hell would be got at home and other homes in North Kerry. Where were the men? Quickly we fired up the excavator and made our way onto the white unbroken snow, on our way to Ballybunion, being passed out by 7 Massey Fergusons at full throttle in succession, after a pit stop during a Formula 1 event. Turkeys, chickens and tea boxes bouncing from the old transport box behind them were in full train. Behind us, on our yellow digger, thankfully, as it would have been an embarrassment to have been passed out by a donkey, were scores of donkeys and carts making their way from our North Kerry haven at the Thatch Bar. I remember one man passing us out at such a rapid speed with a Volkswagen Beetle that we met him turned upside down in a dike a few miles out the road. My dad duly stopped, pulled him out of the dike, and he went off in his merry way with streams of smoke emitting from the back of the Beetle. Well, that's history, guys. I looked back another time to see a lone horseman pass us by quickly on a breaded horse, with 2 live turkeys clinging to their last moments on this earth at the rear of the rider. He was in a hurry. Finally, we made our way onto the straight road to Ballybunion, just after the creamery. From my memory, I can recall the unbroken snow in front of us as the big yellow machine ploughed its way through the white carpet of snow, with the views of our North Kerry coastline in the distance. I looked back once more to see the 2-wheel tracks of the digger. Yes, everyone, 2. As when the old digger was at full power, it entered a 2-wheel mode. It was up on 2 wheels, being back heavy. My father had a mission to get home fast, and knowing the beast I was on that evening, like the space shuttle, the old digger needed, like the Massey Ferguson 135, plenty of landing strip to stop. The brakes weren't good. So after we climbed Gutnaskeha, my father applied the brakes. Oops, she slides like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers towards the ditch. A heart-stopping moment, only when my father dropped the bucket of the JCB and steadied the craft. Into the village of Ballybunion we went that evening. Not a soul could be seen. Well, not on the street. They were all in the local bars, or glue pots as they called them. The lone Christmas tree that was placed in front of the Garda station had no lights, but several plastic milk bottles filled with sand dangling from the old tree, which was stuck in a tar barrel. The next wind would take it, and oh boy, it did. The wind came and took it, and it ended up near the Castle Green. Back to base, after our adventure at Christmas. Many of the faces and friends I met that day in Lizelton, sadly many around me at that bar that day at the Thatch, are mostly gone now, to their good God in the sky, R.I.P. Not all are. The blackbird is still there dancing, and he's still a good friend. Now a bit of music before we go on to the podcast. And our podcast is the Lia Fail, or Stone of Destiny. Oh, some lively stuff there with the pipes. Now, Inishfail, or the Island of Destiny, was the ancient name for the island of Ireland. In those days, ruled by the native Irish with their own rich culture, religion and laws, and its rich language. This journey takes us back to the dawn of time and other countries, where commemorative rites were practiced from the dawn of time. In my research over the years, the mention of holy stones and special stones located in secret places are many. One mentioned many times in Irish manuscripts is the famous Lia Fail, or Stone of Destiny. Lia Fail and its meaning is Lia, a stone, and Fail, destiny. The Lia Fail, the Stone of Destiny. The Stone of Destiny was brought to Ireland, has been stated by historians, by the famous Tuatha De Danann. Its purpose was ceremonial. During the coronation of an Irish High King, each person claiming to be a High King would in turn sit or stand on the famous stone. If a potential king was to be crowned High King, the Lia Fail, or Stone of Destiny, would issue a thunderous-like roar, indicating the right of the king to be crowned. Some say vice versa. It has been related that when others attempted to sit on the stone, those not entitled, that the Stone of Destiny, or Lia Fail, would not sound or let off a whisper. Again, there are many derivations of this. The name Lia comes from a stone, as I've said, and there are many variations. Others are fatal stone, and also known, as I said before, as the Stone of Destiny. However, some historians have stated that its original name was Fail, F-A-L. Other associations with the name Lia Fail were chieftain, learning, valley, and faith, or the Stone of Faith. The stone, according to the ancients, was brought to Ireland by the Tuatha De Danann, or her old name Inishfail. The area it was brought from, according to historians, everyone, and you know, history can change when you go through it from time to time, a place called Failias came the famous Lia Fail. And it has been said by historians, also accompanying the Lia Fail at that time, was a huge, powerful talisman called the Cleave Solish, or the Sword of Light. And along with these famous talismans, you had the Spear of Lug and Dagda's Cauldron. In the past, many scholars have spoken of the Lia Fail and its whereabouts. Old Irish poets have mentioned its location in their writings, such as Kenneth O'Hartigan, who visited Tara and wrote of the stone that was in position then. Standing on the stone, his words were, quote, "The stone which is under my 2 feet, from it is called Inishfail, between 2 strands of strong tide, the plain of Foyle for all Éireann." This poet died in the year of 975, unquote. Irish antiquarian Dr. Petrie stated, quote, that the Lia Fail was in fact still sited on the hill of Tara in Meath. Some people believe that the stone on Tara is a total fake. And indeed, vandals damaged the Lia Fail in Tara not long ago with spray paint. This was an act of vandalism. The Scottish connection has been well documented, and there are many stories to testify to its authenticity in Scotland, of their Stone of Destiny. But was this the second half of the Irish stone that was split in antiquity? We'll never know. It has been stated by historians that the stone left Tara, seat of the Irish High Kings, in the year of AD 500 for Scotland, by the then High King of Ireland, Murtagh MacEirc, to be used by his great-uncle called Fergus the Great for his coronation with the Dal Riada in Scotland. After Fergus died, the famous stone remained in Scotland. The stone was later taken by the English and brought to London to be used for their coronation ceremonies. The connection with Scotland was never broken when in 1950 3 individuals with Scottish national blood in them entered Westminster and removed the stone in 2 pieces and brought those pieces back to Scotland. The borders were shut by the police in an attempt to catch the thieves, but they failed. The Stone of Destiny was placed in an abbey, and later it was returned to Westminster. On the 15th of November 1996, the Stone of Destiny was finally returned back to Scotland and its people, with a ceremony in Scotland, and is now in Scotland for all to see. One twist in the tale is that there is an agreement stated that the stone is to be returned on occasions to London for a coronation. So the Stone of Destiny, or the Stone of Scone, still has an ancient rite. Another story related of the symbolic Stone of Destiny, the Lia Fail, was that it was brought from the Holy Land before invasions, and it was an ultimate link with the monarchs of ancient Ireland, Scotland and England. This links us all with the story of an object which was indeed, and still is, a powerful talisman, the Stone of Destiny. The Lia Fail in its name to all of us signifies destiny, destiny of our future, and in every society there was and will always be secular objects that connects us with our past lifeways and cultures. Wherever the Lia Fail lies, in Scotland, England and Ireland, it will always and always link us back to a place called Inishfail, or the Island of Destiny, which I and other historians, male and female, live and promote our history, the island of Ireland. Now everyone, I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. I have once more. I got great pleasure putting it together. I'll be back in the new year with some serious work, so I hope you all have enjoyed the episodes during the year I've produced. As I said, due to work on my research centre here in Ballybunnon, which was badly needed, everyone, and is still ongoing, I'm catching up with the episodes, so thanks for everyone for your patience. It was a lovely summer here, and thanks to those who travelled over from the United States of America to meet me here at my research centre. Bruce Moriarty and Cindy and family and friends just blew me away with their kindness and support, and it was emotional for Bruce to make it back to his ancestral home in Tullabeg after so many years. And we had the McCarthy family as well, who visited my centre here, and we had a special day. We took a visit out to where the famous Carty the Piper is buried at Kilconnelly Cemetery. I travelled out also with historian Megan Copsell, another one of our ancestors whose people came from the area of Causeway direction, Killooly Cemetery, where people are buried there, Ballinascreena and Farn Causeway. Another lovely day out we had there. I'm delighted you all had a great time here in Ireland and along the wild Atlantic Way. And for those who are coming to Ireland, why not give me an email and I will meet you here at my research centre. As usual, everyone, please support my Patreon site, Buy Me a Coffee, as I'm currently upgrading my research centre and display here. We really need your support. So from all of us here in Inishfail in Ireland, happy Christmas and a peaceful New Year.
Thanks for listening to our show. Through its people, its heritage and its rugged coastline, this is truly Danny Houlihan's Irish experience. Bye for now.